What, according to you, are the reasons behind the decline of women contributing to Islamic scholarship and public life in today's world, and what is the impact of this decline?
Thing really is, decline happened in Islam really in every aspect. Not only women, even men really declined. And when men declined, it has impact on everything. They become more protective, and somehow they restricted the education to madrasat, and madrasat were only for the men, not for the women. Though in the past they used to allow men and women both in the same madrasat, but later on, especially Indian madrasat, they only made for women. And also, I think in the Muslim curriculum, the emphasis on the Greek logic and philosophy, it has harmed a lot, because Greek philosophers, they always used to humiliate the women from very beginning, from Aristotle, all the time. Among Greek philosophers, you never find any woman, never. Greek philosophers used to think women are inferior to the men intellectually. And Aristotle, such a big man, I respect him. He said, one of the proof that women are inferior to the men is that women have less teeth compared to the men. The people of the history, you can see, I find all the information on the internet. The people who are studied, they write about the history of philosophy. They're surprised that this man is such a big, philosopher and thinker, and he has got two wives. He easily could count their teeth. They had similar teeth as the men, the women. And what to do with the teeth here? Just in Muslim, it same happened in Islam. All the people who are influenced by Greek philosophy, they never encourage the women. They always there. That's why in my book you find the women, Shia women, every woman, but you don't find women from philosopher's family or Mu'tazila. The people who are expert. Even Imam Ghazali, who is such a great Sufi and all this big alim, but he's also a philosopher. He has written a book, At-Tibrul Masbook fi Nasayih al-Muluk. You people can find the book, so don't accuse me that I just blaming Imam Ghazali. This is a book available, printed, At-Tibrul Masbook fi Nasayih al-Muluk. In that book, Imam Ghazali advises the kings. The one advice he gives to the kings is, don't consult the women. That is it. Don't consult the women. And if you had to consult them, then you do opposite of what they say. Just oppose them. You'll be right. And then he says, in the sum, all the evil in the world are because of the women. That is written by Imam Ghazali. Not Ben Maibi. This is in his book. So this word attitude. Imam Ghazali has big influence over the madrasa. That way, until now, really, madrasa people, until now, I'm not from madrasa. So don't think I'm just against madrasa. I studied in madrasa all my life, and I respect them. Always I keep writing about the madrasa. But in madrasa, people really have this attitude, and they never come out. I remember once I gave a talk in Jamaat Islami Markaz in Delhi, and my friend is Salam Nadwi. You know him. He is the one who asked me to give this. He's a really very close friend. We have been working together in Nadwi Ulama, studying together, and after that we always have been good friends. So once I gave a speech, a talk here in Jamaat Islami Markaz in Delhi. To some of the people of Jamaat Islami, they said to me, "Can you give the same speech in Nadwa?" I said no. So they were thinking that because Jamaat Islami, I said, it's not that I don't respect you, and reason is I know really that here people are a little bit more advanced than now thinking. It's easy for them to receive what I say. Same in England, people are ready, but in madrasa it will take time. Some of those things you have to come. I don't want to fight. I want to teach people. To teaching always is a kind to the context and gradually, not to fight. So certainly I cannot say same thing all the time, everywhere. But one day, inshallah, things will spread and people will change, inshallah.
Because we are talking about the decline of women, if we look at the subcontinent, India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh, we find severity in the decline, what we see here, not just at the level of getting education, it's also in the society where the ayat or the ahadith are misunderstood and misinterpreted about beating women, about taking them as if they are taking them as a witness, they want two women. So the feminist ideology kind of tell the Muslim woman that it's humiliating for you to, making two women equal to one man. And all these misinterpretation are going on. And that's another reason why I guess, the misinterpretation is a reason where women's status in the subcontinent is declining at a very high speed, I think. What do you think, or what is your opinion, or what will be your suggestion for the ulama karam to help make this situation better?
Thing really is, as far as feminism it's actually is not good thing for the women. It's not helpful really. It is really another extreme which is going to harm. It's already harming the women. And I've written a book against feminism, and inshallah sometime it will come out. So I discuss really that feminism has one good thing, that at least it drew the attention towards justice for the women. That's a good thing, no doubt. We really support the feminism on this matter, that women should be treated fairly and with justice. But the solution they have brought is not really a good solution. It is going to again to harm the women. But anyway, that's not my topic. So let's come to madrasa and the ulama. When the women, when you are in public, for example, I'll tell you a story that will help you to understand. There has been a hadith in circulation in the time of Aisha anha, that if a man is praying and a woman passes in front of him, then the prayer of the man becomes invalid. If man is praying and the woman goes in front of him, then the prayer becomes invalid.
I think there are few places in India where this is still believed to be an
authentic. Yeah. So I'll tell you that this is to hadith. So then there is a big man and a great scholar and tabi'i and faqih, Aswad ibn Yazid from Kufa. And he is the one on whom Hanafi Madhab is based, one of those people. And he's very close to Aisha, very close to her. He came from Kufa to Medina and he said, "Oh, Mul Mu'mineen, what do you think about this hadith that if a woman passes in front of a man, then the prayer becomes invalid?" So she became angry. She said, "Oh, people of Kufa, you people have made us women equal to the donkeys and monkeys and all those things. The Prophet used to pray and I used to be in front of him and then pass and nothing happened." So you see, she was able to correct this misunderstanding. Then after that, Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shafi, Hanbal, all the madhab, they say, if a woman passes in front of the men, then the prayer is still fine, then nothing will happen. Because of the hadith of Aisha, that how. So one thing, if the women are not in the field, what happens? The men say about them whatever they like. There's nobody to question because all the men think the same way somehow. So this one harm happened. Mawla Maududi, rahimahullah ta'ala, I respect him actually, and always encourage people to read many of his books, but he's also a man of his time. In his books, many of them I like so much, we learn from him. But his book is a Parda, which I really think it is more Indian cultural Islam rather than Islam that Quran teaches about the women. So that another thing. The one thing I read about Mawla Maududi was, and that he said, the reason we want the women to be covered and full niqab and all those things, he actually is one who support the women must cover their face and all those things, though actually he had no proof. All the fuqaha have been saying the face of the women is not awra. The Mawla Maududi said the reason is this, because in the house, if you have got a pearl and diamonds and precious stones, you cover them, hide them. So women to us is so precious that, like a diamond and pearls and jewelry, we keep them hidden. So we used to believe in madrasa, such great argument about the niqab and the parda. Then when I started this research, I realized that the fundamental mistake by Mawla Maududi. Stones and precious stones or diamonds, they don't have life, they don't have mind. They're not mukallaf. Women have mind thinking. They know what is good. The Quran said, when Allah SWT addressed Adam and Eve, he did not say, "Oh, Adam, teach your wife." Allah SWT said to both of them at the same time, women know how to protect themselves. Women know good and bad. You don't treat women like stones. Women have life, they have mind thinking. So when people address the women, they should think they are human being with mind, intellect, reason. They can understand good and bad. That's how Allah addresses them. That's how we should address. So this is a big mistake. Now when I give a talk sometime, I refer to Mawla Maududi's this statement. So I said to the people, if this is the argument that women are so precious and we keep them in the, hidden somewhere in the house, then somebody can make an argument. Men are more precious than the women. So let's put them in the boxes. Are the men going to be happy? If some women say that men are very precious, we want to keep them in the box because they are more dear to us than the a diamond and ornaments, are the men going to be happy? No, this argument was not used by the Prophet, not by the Quran. It is people's it argument made by the people. So let's think really that how Quran does. Quran addresses the men and women at the same time. The Prophet said, Umar Khattab, in his time when the booty money came from all over the world, so he used to distribute them among the men and women of Medina. And then he used to send a message to every house that on this place I'm going to distribute the dinar dirham. Come and say, men come and take their share, and women come and take their share. Nobody can represent anybody. He used to give to the women with his own hand. Because when people get money, it is important for them. If the brother takes a husband on your behalf, it is not the same thing. He advised that. Abdullah Masud's wife asked him a question. He did not have answered. He said to her, go and ask the Prophet. She said, no, you go and ask. He said, no, you go and ask the Prophet. She went to ask the Prophet. Now in our time, really, men will say, no, you don't go to ask Mufti. I'll go on your behalf. In the time the Prophet said, the women go and ask the Prophet, not the husband, because it is everybody's religion. The way we have changed the society, it looks like normal. It's not normal, really. Normal thing is when women are trusted, you really teach them, respect their mind and thinking, and let them obey their Lord sincerely from their heart. You will see there will be more pious than the men. But when you want to impose a piety, piety never can be imposed. Piety is only from mind. If people have no mind, they never can be pious. Are the stones more pious? If people say, oh, this divar, this wall does not do zina, the wall does not lie, is it pious? The wall is not pious. Piety only comes when you have choice between good and bad. When you are a thinker, when you decide with your mind, if you can't do that, you are not pious. Let the women choose their path. Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. We showed the people both path, good path and bad path. Now they choose. So I'll advise all of you working, whenever somebody makes an argument, think really, use your mind. Does it work? It could be from Maula Maududi. It could be from Maula Abul Hasan Nadwi. It could be from Deoban, Nadwa, any, it is not, I'm biased against any institution. No, I respect all of them. They have their own contribution, but always test. If they have good argument, we'll accept. If they have bad argument, weak argument, we are not going to accept, because our religion is based on the sound argument, not on the weak argument.
As a scholar, do you think there is a need of revisiting the fiqh, and especially with regards to the women's issue when in the current scenario?
Yeah, certainly, think really understand. This religion is based on the Quran and Sunnah. When you say fiqh, what is it? Fiqh really, only one part is Quran and Sunnah. Most details of the fiqh, some book, 25 volumes, 30 volumes, most details are coming from people's inferring, ijtihad, thinking, and ijtihad is based on the culture, on the custom, on the time. Even those jurists, their ijtihad used to change from time to time, from generation to generation. After such a long time, do you think they will not change? This is not a revealed work, all these books of fiqh. They are human work. I know really how the reasoning happened, how they differ from each other themselves. Even something in the Quran Sunnah, sometimes there are more than one meaning, one interpretation. So men should come, women should come, and certainly that's our duty. We are not going to change the Quran Sunnah, but we are going to explain the Quran Sunnah in the light of the time and the space where you live, and make it relevant to the people. They understand it and go back to the society of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's what we need to do. If we don't have the society of the Prophet, nothing can explain the Quran. It is Medinan society at the time of the Prophet. How did he treat the women? That's what we want to buy. He encouraged women to go to the mosque. We encourage. He encouraged women to be in business, in farming, in shop, we encourage the same thing. He never stopped. Umar Khattab appointed a lady, responsible for the market. That in market, halal, haram, this lady will be responsible. See, there are so many complaints, but a woman became in charge of the market. He also gave a stick to another woman, Subaya al-Islamiyya, that she is in charge of the command of the good and forbidding the evil. Amar ma'ruf and nahi munkar. She used to be stick. And when she used to see any evil in Medina, in the time of Umar, he used to hit people with the stick. So you can think if the women are so active, in the times of Umar Khattab, the Medina society. We don't want to change that. Many people said to us that, Islam will change. Once when I wrote this book a long time ago, near 20 years, I was in the city of Leicester. Some ulama came to say to me, "Oh, Akram, your book is going to change Islam." I said, no, it is not going to change. It's going to remove the change. It's going to bring back people to the society of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You are ulama. Tell me in my book, all references there. Is there any mistake in referencing? If there is a mistake, I will leave it. Once I gave a talk in one of the city in England, Blackburn, in the mosque. And I encouraged that the people should allow the women to come to the mosque. Then the imam came to me after my talk and said, you teach whatever you like, but don't teach that women can come to the mosque. I said, why? Is there any problem in my argument or something? He said, no, your argument's fine, but we don't like the women to come to the mosque. So really, it is not based, when they say women don't come, not because they have more argument. It's just culture. They don't like that. It is very clear from the way, from the attitude. We want to keep our culture. We don't want to lose the culture. Islam is not important. Important thing is the Muslim culture. So Islam is not culture. Islam is a religion. A guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is protected in the book of Allah. The men and women both must move, together. And alhamdulillah, my students who study with me, men and women, now they both are alim and alima. Now we're going to start also course on fatwa. So men and women both can attend the course and they become mufti and muftiya. So, the women also are in the same field, they will understand and then really can explain properly. But one thing I teach always, don't confront anybody, don't fight anybody, don't argue, just nicely, peacefully keep teaching. Teaching, inshallah, address the mind. Don't force anything. Address human mind. That will work, inshallah.
Since you have worked particularly on ahadith, Muslim women have had a strained relationship with some ahadith due to their misinterpretation and misuse. We also see in the fiqh that there are scholars who say that there is no need of taking care of your in-laws, and that is kind of disturbing the family units. There are women who knows only this particular part of the fiqh, saying that they are not responsible for their in-laws. This is kind of, breaking the families. And this kind of discomfort is often criticized as hadith rejection, or we see differences in opinions and differences in thoughts. So in your classes and courses, have you ever encountered such questions from students, and how do you generally address these issues?
Thing really is, people have mixed the religion with the culture so much. When you marry, what marriage means is in Islam. The men have, I have taught this course so many times, really, written as well. Soon now my book, I've written a book, Al-Fiqh al-Islami, Islamic fiqh, according to the Quran Sunnah in Hanafi madhab, but from original sources. So recently I wrote the third volume. Third volume is about the family law, marriage, divorce, women's right, and all those things properly I made very clear. All the jurists agree that when a man marries a woman, he has to provide her an accommodation, the accommodation which is independent of her relatives and his relatives. A place where the woman can take off her clothes and she is not scared of anybody coming without her permission. So the husband cannot bring his wife to his parents' house, to his brother's house. He should give her independent accommodation. That is the basic right of women in all the madhab. Hanafi madhab, Maliki madhab, Shafi madhab, Hanbali madhab. So this is one thing. People say, oh, I've got my parent. So what? The women also got the parent. Who said that your wife has to serve your parent? Who said? What the Quran says? Nothing. If your wife, your parents need help, help them. You help them. Find somebody to help them, your sisters, anybody. Your wife has no obligation in Islam to serve your parent. If she does, favor, recognize the favor, but it is not her duty. Don't expect her and don't create a problem in the house because she does not serve your parent. She has no duty, no obligation at all in Islam to serve your parent. So you have to provide her accommodation independent from your family and her family. Second thing is provide her expenses, proper expenses, food, clothing, basic medical treatments, even education thing. Provide her with respect. It is not a favor. Whatever men spend on the women, it is not a charity. It is not a sadaqah. It is not a favor. it is women's right. Even if the woman has millions and millions of pounds, still she has this obligation on her husband. For example, if I have parent, I only spend money on my parent if they are poor. If I have brothers and sisters, I spend money on them when they're poor. If they're not poor, I have no duty. For my wife, no. Even if she is the richest person in the whole world, still I have duty to spend upon her. She has the right on my food, on her money is her money. That's how Islam is. Ask any mufti, ask any book of fatwa. Do the women deserve, the expenses because they're poor, because they're needy? No. It is obligation on the men. They must do it to providing independent accommodation and providing expenses and maintenance to the wives. It is not a charity. It is not a sadaqah. It is not a gift. It is a basic obligation. It is duty upon the men. They must do it. For the parents, they spend when the parents are needy. For your brother, sister, you spend when they are needy. But for your wife, you must spend even if she is richer than you. Still, you have duty to do this. People don't realize really. If people do this, I said to the people in England, sometimes I was teaching in the universities where the Muslim and non-Muslim, everybody comes. So I said, if Muslims follow Islam properly, all the Christian women, they'll become Muslims. There's so much rights for the women. Sometimes people ask me if women get all this money in Islam, so what will they do with their own money? What they will do? I said, just build the mosque and charities. Like in the past, all the big colleges in Islam, they're made by the women. They had so much money, they spend. And now irony is, same college which was built by women cannot study there. Once I gave a talk in a Qarawiyyin in Fas, in Morocco, and that is built by a woman, Fatima al-Fihriya. She's the one who built. So I gave talk, and that's all ulama. So I said to them, see, this place was built by women. And for nearly 1,000 years, you did not allow the women to study there. Now they're allowing. For 1,000 years, you just made for the men, though it was made by the women. She was the one. There are many mosques in India built by the women, but women cannot come there. So, people actually don't read their religion. So I'll tell you that, don't listen to people's argument unless they present to you the society of the Prophet, clear text from the Quran, clear text from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But certainly we don't need to fight anybody. My way of teaching, and I also all ask you people to teach, inshallah.
I remember reading in one of the book called Maulana Maududi Ki Shagufta Mizaji that he said if women come to know about their rights in Islam, they will not leave men to live. So that's how Islam has given them rights and the status that can be ever given to them. Finally, Doctor, what is your advice to young women and girls who wish to pursue scholarship in Islam, particularly this particular place, subcontinent?
Thing I really in England, because I've been here there for more than 30 years, I realize really that men and women both should study the mainstream education in the university, because we cannot provide alternative. We don't have means really. Totally. But at the same time, we should provide Islamic education. If people want to learn Arabic language, Islamic studies, and become alima, we should help them. So since then, I started my Sunday classes the whole day. So where the students from the universities, Oxford, Cambridge, men and women both, they study 7-8 years Arabic classes and Islamic, and they become alim and alima. And this course is available for the women from all over the world. Actually, even the women from India, they are enrolled. They are studying with me. So one thing I will say, let your women study in the university in India, because that's very helpful. Really, they learn this, they become confident, and they really build, themselves. But at the same time, they should spend at least 1 day a week to study Arabic language, proper Islamic studies, so they become, good in Islam. So they will be more, serving to the religion than anybody. If you don't know the religion, any man will say, oh, you don't know anything. But once you have learned the sources, Bukhari, Muslim, Quran, or directly in Arabic language, you will have more confidence. Nobody can oppose you easily. That you can. So I'll say, either people are this class available, or maybe start in India. Some of the weekend classes, Sunday class, Saturday class. Spend money and find teachers who teach, men, women, or maybe only women, Sunday, the whole day until they come alim, and you'll see they will learn it. Because these women who are studying in the university, they're clever. So they know everything. For them to learn a language or to study Quran or Sunnah is not a big thing anyway. It is just you need to provide them. But in my class, I tell you, most times actually, when we have exam, women excel the men. They are better in the result than the men. Many times in the exams, women do much better than the men. Same life, both are busy, but actually sometimes women are more busy. They're married, they have children, but still they manage to do so well. So I advise you that if you start the classes, either find the classes which are already there, or you want to do your own, do it. But don't force women to leave their normal education, because that's important. They study in the universities, secular universities, but at the same time in the weekend you provide the proper courses. You will see really they become pious, much more pious. They will more. Sometimes women used to come to my class from Oxford University, the young girls studying their PhD, no headscarf, nothing like Western people, and studying Bukhari. So people said to me, these women study Bukhari, such a big book of Islam, no headscarf. I said, don't worry, let them come, you'll see. And those women become pious, and they change their families, they wake up for tahajjud and things like that. Because if they don't know, we don't force us, but once they learn, they will follow Islam. They also want the hereafter, they also want paradise, like the men. To let them study, let them learn. So I'll ask you really, provide the space. I'm not very happy with Indian women madrasas, because their study is very, very low. And you keep the women for 5, 6 years, they don't study much really, rather than they study in the universities. But in the weekend, you give them time, they become, and they meet with the same people who they're going to fight in the future. So then they know their language. If the woman is restricted to a madrasa, covered, then after that, when she comes on the public, she does not have confidence. She cannot, argue with these people. But when she studies in the same class, and then after that, she knows her religion, she will have. And I've seen really recently in India, in some cases, women really did very well, in defending the religion and all those things. And the men become happy. So I said to the men who are happy, I say, you are the people who don't want the women to learn. Now they learn and they defend your religion, you become happy. So why don't you let them learn? So, they serve your religion. So I'll say, study in the mainstream education, but at the same time, provide them special education for your religion.
Jazakallah, Dr. Saab. This talk was definitely enlightening and also so encouraging that we women will look forward to more such interactions with you. And Jazakallah for your time. Team Aura will be back, inshallah, with another high thought-provoking and inspirational personality in the next issue, inshallah. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan.